In this video, I'll be guiding you through 5 key quotes related to the theme of age, and I'll break down what they demonstrate about the characters involved. If you find our videos useful, then like, subscribe and ring the bell to receive notifications of new content as it arrives. I'm going to start with this quote from Mrs. Burling near the beginning of Act 2. Sheila has just told her story and Gerald is going to be interrogated next. Mrs. Burling is commenting on the way that Sheila has taken the investigation so seriously and personally. She says to the inspector, "You seem to have made a great impression on this child." The use of the noun child here is very significant and highlights the lack of understanding from the older generation. Mrs. Burling considers herself superior to her daughter, considering Sheila to be too young to be taken seriously, and also implying that the inspector won't be able to affect her in the same way due to her age and experience. She could have said, "You've made a great impression," but opts for the verb phrase "seem to have made a great impression," demonstrating a lack of certainty about what is going on in spite of attempting to sound in control. Oh, there's a nice short quote coming up that should be easy to remember. Very soon after being dismissive of Sheila, Mrs. Burling underestimates Eric in a similar way when talking about his familiarity with alcohol. She has no idea that he is a hard drinker, considering him to be a child too. She says, "He's only a boy." Only 4 words to remember there, and they show how little she knows about her own son, who has developed into an adult capable of heavy drinking and womanizing. The adjective "only" suggests that she considers him less than a man and therefore not worth taking seriously as a fellow grown-up. Obviously, labelling him with the noun boy means that he will remain in her eyes childlike and in need of mothering. Given the way that Mrs. Burling talks to Sheila and Eric, it is unsurprising that in some ways they still consider themselves to be children. Sheila in particular. In front of the audience's eyes, as the play unfolds, Sheila appears to move from behaving as an immature young woman and into adulthood. After she's heard Gerald's story and handed him back the engagement ring, she tells him, "You and I aren't the same people who sat down to dinner here." The phrase "aren't the same" shows that she has changed, having grown up over this short space of time. The older characters, on the other hand, are completely unwilling to change. The conflict between generations is emphasised through the damaged father-son relationship when Eric explains to Mr. Burling in Act 3 why he didn't ask for help when panicking about how to support Eva Smith. He says, "You're not the kind of father a chap could go to when he's in trouble." Burling doesn't offer the nurturing parental support that Eric would have liked. That he uses the phrase "kind of father" suggests that Eric understands that there are other kinds of fathers available that would be supportive of their children. Definitely pointing towards the failure of Mr. Burling himself, but possibly suggesting that many middle-class fathers raised under strict Victorian expectations themselves are inadequate at offering their sons the parenting that they need. And their relationship doesn't improve over the course of the play, although it changes as Eric, like his sister, grows more mature. This quote comes at the point that Eric accuses his mother of being responsible for the death of Eva and her unborn child. Mr. Burling reacts by saying, "Why, you hysterical young fool, get back or I'll..." And it stops there. The adjective hysterical suggests that Mr. Burling believes that Eric has lost control of his emotions, and in labelling him a fool, Mr. Burling implies that his son is stupid or reckless. It could be argued that Eric has demonstrated all of these behaviours before this point in the play, but at this stage he is expressing the not unreasonable anger of a man who has lost his lover and child under horrific circumstances. It's interesting that the other adjective that Mr. Burling uses is young. He's clearly associating youth with foolishness and hysteria, once again indicating his lack of respect for his children's generation. Ironically, at this stage, Mr. Burling himself is on the verge of losing control. The audience is left to draw their own conclusions about what the end of the threat or all might be, but it's suggestive of the intent of physical violence. Fortunately, at this point, the inspector steps in and takes control. Don't forget that the information in this video is also available in written form in our Inspector Calls revision guide, and you can purchase a digital copy of that by clicking the link in the video description. There are also a whole load more free revision videos available on our YouTube channel. Please check those out. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.